Week 0 is officially in 6 days. Everyone wants to talk about who the best team is, who's the worst team, whatever. We're going to go ahead and go through our top 25. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of top 25s before week 6 in college football. However, we're going to do it. We're going to talk about it. Starting with number 25, I've got Penn State, Matt. Reason why I've got Penn State here, they brought a pretty good Iowa State team over from Iowa State. They have the entire roster pretty much. They have the head coach. It's basically just they picked everything up that was in Ames, moved it to Happy Valley. It was a good team, but the lights are a little bit brighter in the Big Ten. Competition's a little bit better. Not saying the competition in the Big 12 isn't good. It's just that it's better. Stadiums are a little bit more intimidating, and plus the general expectation at Penn State is a lot higher than it is at Iowa State. So that pressure's gonna put some, it's gonna weigh on these guys. Let's see how it goes. I got them at 25.
Especially playing at that kind of stadium and the crowd they can get, it's going to be a lot more expectations. But 25 might shock a lot of people. People might flame me for this, but I have Kentucky. It's going to be a good year. I know that we have a really tough schedule, but I have faith in the guys. I have faith in Will Stein. Will Stein's coming from Oregon, offense coordinator, great offensive mind, has quarterbacks. He put quarterbacks in the NFL, so I have Kentucky at 25.
I like it. I don't personally have that, but I don't mind it. 24, I've got Tennessee. I don't trust Tennessee this year. I really don't. I think if you gave me a team that of these 25 teams will not be ranked at the end of the year, I think Tennessee is probably one of the leading contenders. I've got them here, though. Let's see how it goes.
I have Iowa at 24. Iowa's a tough place to play. Place to play always. So I have them at 24. It's going to be a good one. They have some tough matchups, but they get Ohio State at home. So 24 for Iowa.
I don't mind it. Number 23, I've got my only group of 6 team on here, and the team that I personally think is going to get that group of 6 bid before the season starts. Obviously, it's not set in stone. There's teams that are going to be a lot better than we thought they were, but I got Navy right here at 23. That's who I think is going to get that group of 6 bid.
I like that choice, but 23 for me, I have Missouri. I know that Ahmad Hardy is going to not start the season with him. He's injured, but other than that, I think that they're a good team. They're sneaky in the SEC. They're not always the bottom team, but they're not always the top team. So I think that they could be middle of the pack or a little higher. So I have them lower, obviously. So 23.
I don't mind it. I don't mind them there. Number 22, I got Kansas State, and this is legitimately all just riding on if Avery Johnson does good or not.
He's been around for 100 years.
The reason why I'm laughing, too, today that we're recording this is the 1-year anniversary of his dad and his brother getting into a fight outside of the stadium in Ireland. So if he can be the guy that they think he is and the guy they expect him to be, they're going to have a good year. But, again, it's kind of like Tennessee. I don't really trust him at this point.
So for 22, I have a new head coach, John Summerall, and I have Florida. Florida is a tough place to play. It's going to be an interesting season to see how John Summerall goes from a smaller, tinier conference, smaller school, and going into the SEC, and then playing and doing at Florida. So I'm excited to see how they do. Obviously, I'm not a Florida guy myself, but I got Florida at 22.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Iowa is my 21 team. Let's see how it goes with Iowa. Pretty tough schedule. They do get Ohio State at home, which is awesome for them. They have upset some big teams there before. I think it could be a good year for the Hawkeyes, but playing in the Big Ten and kind of the point where they're at right now, it's all gonna it'll either come together really well and they're gonna score a good bit of points. It's gonna be some traditional Big Ten smash mouth football, or it's gonna be a punt fest again.
At 21, I have Michigan. I know that they got a whole new system in there. They got Kyle Whittingham as the coach. But to me, Michigan, it's always Michigan. The Big House is always hard to play at. But I think Bryce Underwood is going to definitely be better than last year. But he has to take that leap to be exceptional or pretty great for them to have a great year. And I just don't see that. So we're going to stick them at 21. They could upset some games here and there if they start off the year hot. Then they could have a great year, but I don't see that happening, so 21 for Michigan.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Number 20, I've got Louisville here. Admittedly, not the biggest Louisville fan at all. But I'm going to give him credit where credit's due. I'm going to try to be as, what's the right way to put this? I'm going to try to be as non-biased as possible here. I don't think they're going to be bad. I don't think that they're going to make the playoffs, at least personally. I do think that they have a very good chance of getting to a better bowl. I think that they actually, if you gave me a team to be the ACC representative in the Pop-Tart Bowl right now, I would choose Louisville to be that team. But I don't think they're going to be as good as people are saying they are. The only thing that kind of scares me about Louisville is, everybody always says that, oh, this dude that's a career backup from a big school is supposed to be so good. But then he gets somewhere, and it turns out he's not as good as he is. Now, that's the same thing that Kentucky's in right now. Not to talk about Kentucky, and we're talking about Louisville. But if it comes together with the guys they brought in, with Jeff Brom, he's a very good coach. They should win some games. They do avoid some of the more top dogs, especially Miami in the ACC. But I got Louisville at 20 again. I think they're Pop-Tart Bowl bound, Matt.
At 20, I have SMU. I think SMU could be the second best ACC team under Miami. They have some tough games, but not a lot. Kevin Jennings is the quarterback. I hope that he does well. I think he will do well for SMU's sake. But I have SMU as second best ACC team, so I have them at 20.
I got you. 19, I've got Utah. Kyle Whittingham's not there anymore. They hired in-house, though. I like him here. I'm interested to see how it all comes together, but we will see. We will see. I've got them at 19. I don't think they're going to be bad. I don't think they're going to be as bad as some people are saying they are, but I think we're in for another 8-4-ish season for Utah.
It's not a bad one. I have Penn State at 19. Matt Campbell, obviously you said all this really already, but I really like them at this spot, at the 19 spot. Matt Campbell's a great coach, coming from Iowa State, doing well at Iowa State, but it is tougher to play in the Big Ten. It is a bigger place to play, a lot more fans, a lot more expectation at this kind of school, but 19 for Penn State.
I like it. I got SMU here at 18, Matt. The reason why I got SMU here is I think they are going to be that second-best team in the ACC. I think it's pretty much a two-horse race between SMU and Louisville for this spot. If Clemson can get it figured out, maybe Clemson might get in there. Who knows? But I think they're going to be good. The most pivotal matchup for them the entire year is that Week 3 game at Louisville. And I think that game is a de facto who gets to play Miami in the Big. I keep wanting to say the Big 12 because that's where they're all heading in the future. But I think that's who the ACC second team is going to be is SMU. I would call it now Miami and SMU will be the ACC championship game, but we'll see. I got them at 18.
18, this is where I have Washington. Going out west, you got Washington. It's a tough place to play. You have 3-hour time difference for all these eastern/middle of the country teams. Always tough place to play. Washington, I watch out for them to be a sneaky one. I'm not saying they're going to do anything great because the Big Ten is really hard, but they are my sneaky, so I have them at 18.
No, I don't mind that at all. I got Washington at 17 for the exact reasons you just said, Matt, so I'll let you go on to your number 17.
My number 17, this is where I have Utah. Like you said, basically the same reasons. Bringing in, they have a whole new staff after Kyle Whittingham went to Michigan. So we'll see how they do, but I think they're going to have a good year, so I have them at 17.
Number 16, I have Michigan. It's all going to depend on two things. One, if Kyle Whittingham's system works at Michigan, and two, if Bryce Underwood actually gets into the system really well and he does good. If he doesn't do good, whole team is going to fall apart. It's not going to be a good year, and it's going to fall apart fast when they have the Sooners come in week 2.
16, this is where I have Houston and Willie Fritz. Houston down there, a lot of chatter about them. I think they're going to be very sneaky in the Big 12. I think they're going to have a great year, actually. I think they could be top 3 teams in the conference. So, but it's going to be a good year down there, and I have them at 16.
Yeah, I don't mind them there. Number 15, I have LSU. Very expensive roster. Lane Kiffin is coming in. The big thing that scares me with this team is Sam Leavitt. There's all that stuff that came out with Sam Leavitt not really listening to his old coach and Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State, and he broke his ankle doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing. Has he fixed that? And is, that attitude problem? I don't know. I'm very excited to see him. I'm very excited to see LSU. I think LSU is better than 15. It's just that I have to see it. And again, I don't like these rankings or before week 6. But by week 6, LSU would have already played Clemson, Ole Miss, and A&M. So let's see how it is.
At 15, this is where I have Alabama. Kalen DeBoer, they are starting a true freshman. So I have Bama at 15. They have a lot to live up to this year.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind it. I've got number 14, Alabama. Same thing you said, Matt. They haven't been up to that standard. If they don't make it to the playoffs at all, he's done. If they make it to the playoffs and they have another outing like they did against Indiana, gone. So let's see how it is. Very interested to see what happens with Alabama this year, because if they don't do good, then they're probably going to be looking for a new head coach.
At 14, this is where I have Texas A&M Aggies. Marcel Reed, I think he's going to do better this year. He didn't have a great year last year. They had a terrible game in the college football playoff against Miami. But Mike Delco is a great coach. I think the Aggies are going to make the playoff again, and I think that Marcel Reed is a lot better than last year.
Yeah, definitely. My number 13, Matt, I have Ole Miss. A lot of moving parts, a lot of new people brought in, a lot of new people out. Mainly their head coach is no longer there, but their current head coach had some experience in probably the most toughest place he could have had that experience, in the playoffs, and they looked really good. And the big thing is they brought their quarterback back. That is huge for them, bringing back Trinidad Chambliss, arguably the best quarterback returning. You can maybe say it's Arch Manning, but I would say that's probably 1A and 1B right there. So interested to see what actually happens. But eventually, it'll all come together. That week 3 game is going to be nuts, and that's really going to be the test of Ole Miss. They get tested early, too. They do have that big game early against Louisville in Nashville on Sunday of week 1. So let's see how it goes with them.
At 13, this is where I have Texas Tech. I know they lost Brendan Sorsby, but Texas Tech is still Texas. They have lots of money down there, lots of money. I know they did lose some defensive linemen as well, but Texas Tech, I think the other quarterback, blanking on his name, is going to be really good for them, but Texas Tech's at 13.
Number 12, the team that I think is the sleeper team in the Big 12, a team that arguably one of the biggest games in the Big 12 takes place week 3 at their stadium on a Friday night, is Houston. I think Houston's going to be very good. There's a lot of buzz. I'm buying stock into Houston. I think that they are going to be the team in the Big 12 this year, besides BYU and Texas Tech, which we'll get to later. Let's see how it goes, though. Let's see how it goes with them. I really am excited, though. I think that they do have a potential to be one of the top dogs in the Big 12 this year.
At 12, for me, I have USC, Lincoln Riley. I think it's a make-or-break year for him. They have not made the college football playoff with him there. It's tough to go out and play at USC, but they do play in a really hard conference. It's hard to come east as well. And they play Ohio State. They play Oregon. I think they play at Washington. They just have a really tough schedule as well. And they could be featured on College Game Day like 5 different times if they chose that. So we'll see how they do, but I have them at 12.
Yeah, I got USC at 11. I don't trust Lincoln Riley's defenses. This is a big make-or-break year for him. But if they can get it figured out and they have a good team, at least a serviceable defense, they should have a good offense, should be okay. That's why I got him at 11.
11, I have Ole Miss. Trinidad Chambliss coming back. A lot of buzz around them. Their new head coach, Lane Kiffin, leaving. I don't see them being higher than this. I could see them being lower, but not higher. Trinidad Chambliss is the reason I have them at 11. He is a dog. He will be a great quarterback for them, and I think that they will return to the college football playoff.
No, I don't disagree with you there. I think Ole Miss has a very good chance of getting there into the top 10, Matt, into the top 10. I've got BYU here. BYU, a little bit of a tougher schedule this year. They do have to go to Utah, and they do have Notre Dame coming to town, but they should have a very good team this year unless something goes catastrophically wrong. But BYU, I think, is one of those teams that has really benefited from this conference realignment. Them getting into the Big 12, they proved themselves as a very big sports school. People are bought in there. Fans are crazy. Awesome environment. It is on my list to go to a game at BYU, and I'm excited to see what they do this year.
I would go with
I think
you.
they should make the playoffs this year as well. Just for me, I think everybody in this top 10 that I have, obviously they all won't, but top 10, I would say these guys that are all in the top 10 for us, really probably top 15. It's just playoffs or bust.
Yeah, I agree. But at 10 here, this is where I have Lane Kiffin and LSU. Most expensive roster in college football, $43 million. Lane Kiffin is a great coach. He's a wild one, but he's a great coach. And I can't lie about that. But LSU, Sam Leavitt coming in. I know he does have an ankle issue right now, but I think LSU is going to be way better than last year. And I see them having a good season. I wouldn't say great, but good season. So I have them at 10.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all.
So
Number
who do you
9,
got at 9?
I got Texas Tech, Matt. I've got Texas Tech at 9. I am not as high on Texas Tech as I was beginning of the offseason when they had Brendan Sorsby. I think if they had Sorsby, they would be in that top 4 spot. They still have a good team, though. They have a good coach. They have a good team. They have a lot of money behind them. They have a good fan base behind them. And they're still the top dogs in the Big 12 until otherwise. So that's who I've got there at number 9.
I got BYU at 9. They retain their coach, Kalani Sitake. It's the Storm of Mormons. You got to put them in the top 10. BYU's have a tough schedule. They have to play Notre Dame. They probably have to play Texas Tech. You said they play Houston. It's all tough games. If they can win 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 of those, that's a win. And they could have a great season if they do that. So if they can beat Texas Tech this year, they couldn't do it last year, but if they can beat them this year, then they're heading in the right direction. I got BYU at 9.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I like that at 9. Number 8, I've got Notre Dame. Obviously, Jeremiah Love is not coming back. They still have a really good team. This is a team that they should be 11-1 or 12-0. If they're not, they will not make the playoffs. There's no excuse for them at this point. They do have a very good team, though. I expect them to do very well this year.
I agree. At 8, I have Oklahoma. I have the Sooners at 8. Brent Venables' defense, you can always count on that. Defense is always going to be their strong suit. It depends on how John Mateer turns out. He had a little injury last year, so it got screwed up. But John Mateer is I think he's a pretty good quarterback. If he comes out and is a lot better than last year, they could have a great year. They did win in the playoffs. They made it to the playoffs. So if they can do that again, it's a successful season for them.
Definitely. And that's why I've got them at number 7, Matt. I'm going to just go on ahead, let you do your number 7, because everything you just said is exactly what I would say.
7, I have Miami. I know that they were in the national championship last year and lost to Indiana, but I have them at 7. Malachi Toney, best 1 or 2 wide receiver in the country. He's a dog. Miami's going to be really good. But they don't play in a great conference, so that might hurt them when they get up against these better teams. So we'll see how they do, but I have 7 as in Miami.
I like it. I like it there. My number 6, I got the Georgia Bulldogs. Gunnar Stockton coming back is huge. The biggest question for me with Georgia is you just don't have that big name running back they usually always have. I feel like you always hear about a big name running back out of Georgia beginning of the year. I don't really pay attention to Georgia that much. I'm sure the Georgia man would really disagree with me there. Oh, we got this guy. But I like it. I like what they've got. I think that they have a very tough schedule, especially having Oklahoma and Alabama early sucks. But they do have a very good schedule. They do have Georgia Tech, which Georgia Tech is better. We'll see how it goes, though. But Georgia, SEC championship, national championship, or bust for them.
At 6, this is where I have Indiana. I know they were the reigning national champs. I know that this might be low for people, but they don't have as good as quarterback as a lot of people are saying. I know that it's Kurt Cignetti. I know he's a dog. He's a wonderful coach, winning coach. He said, look me up. All I do is win. That's all he does. So Indiana at 6, not a lot to say here. I could see them going back to the playoff, but I don't see them winning it this year. It's hard to win back-to-back always, and competition's getting better and better every year. So Indiana at 6.
Yeah, I don't mind Indiana at 6 there, Matt, and I'm actually going to explain something a little bit later in my list. But number 5, I've got Miami, top dog in the ACC. They need to win an ACC championship first off. They also definitely have national championship expectations. Is the U back? Maybe. However, this is really looking like that Texas team that we had a few years ago with Sam Ehlinger. They went to the Sugar Bowl. Hey, Longhorn Nation, we're back. And the next year they sucked. I really hope Miami doesn't do that because of as much of I am a Miami hater through and through. Miami hater here. If Miami has one hater on this earth, it is me. And the thing with that is I don't like them, but college football is a lot better when Miami is good. So I hope they're good for the overall health of college football. I don't like it, but I hope they're good this year. That's why I got them at 5.
At 5, I have Texas. I think Texas is going to be really good this year. I think they're going to be definitely better than last year. And I think Arch Manning is going to take that next step. I know that he didn't do well in the beginning of the season last year, but second half of the season he was a dog, and he played really well. And I know that a lot of people don't think he's that good because they didn't watch the second half because they weren't great of the season last year. But if you watch the second half of his season, he was really good. And so Arch Manning is going to take that next step. They have Cam Coleman coming in. I think Cam Coleman's going to be top 3 wide receiver in the nation. He's a dog. Texas at 5.
I like it. So number 4 here. Ohio State. Julian Sainz coming back. Ryan Day's coming back. National championship winning coach. Good wide receivers. They are 100% the favorite.
They have the Heisman favorite on their team.
Yeah, 100%. They are 100% going to be the favorite going in here. I just think that a couple other teams have a better roster. Not a better roster. They're a little more cohesive than them, and I think their schedule's a little bit more manageable. Them getting Oregon at home is huge. Them getting Michigan at home is huge. They do have to go to USC, but it should be another really good year in Columbus.
All right, at 4 for me this is where I have Georgia. Gunnar Stockton's coming back. That's huge. Always to have a quarterback coming back. That's always big for your team. You can never count Kirby Smart out. That is a coach right there. It's one of the best coaches in the nation. Kirby Smart is really good on defense, really good at offensive mind. Gunnar Stockton, can't count them out. I have Georgia at 4. I think they're going to be the best SEC team this year. It's going to be them and Texas, in my opinion, but Georgia at 4.
Yeah, exactly. Number 3, I've got Oregon. Oregon, the biggest question with them is how's their new OC going to do? Dan Lanning is one of the best coaches in college football, so I'm not afraid of what he's bringing in. I'm not afraid of what he's returning. He has 2 starting caliber QBs, so I hope nothing happens to their starter, but you've got Patrick Mahomes Jr. sitting on your bench. So I'm excited to see what happens there. But Oregon, my number 3.
At number 3, this is where I have Notre Dame. You have Freeman, coach. Notre Dame has pretty much a cake schedule. They do have to go to BYU. I think they have Miami at home, but they should be 11-1 or 12-0 at the end, and they should be in the playoff. And Notre Dame is going to be good. C.J. Carr, I think C.J. Carr is going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. So that'll be a good one. So Notre Dame at 3.
I like it. Number 2, got the Texas Longhorns here. This is all going to depend on how Arch Manning does. He really picked it up at the end of the season last year. However, the big thing with Arch is they did not look good against lower competition last year. And I hate to say it, but if he doesn't do good and he's not as hyped up as he should be, or excuse me, he doesn't live up to the hype that they have, it's not going to be a good year in Austin. It's not going to be. They have a brutal schedule. They have to play Oklahoma. It's a neutral site, but yeah, you have to go to Texas A&M, who wants to beat you badly. You've got Ohio State coming into the shoe, college game day, week 2. Or excuse me, coming from the shoe to DKR. It's going to be it'll be a whirlwind season for Texas if Arch Manning doesn't do good. And you have some tough road games too, like Texas A&M and LSU as one of your 2 of your last 3 games. I'm not sure. I'm not as bought into Texas as everybody else is, but I got them at 2 because they have the potential to be a boom. You know what I mean?
Yep, for sure. Texas is going to be a good fun one to watch. At my 2, I have Ohio. This is where I have Ohio State. you can't count out Ryan Day. You can't count out Julian Sayin. I know that in some of these bigger games, he didn't perform well, didn't perform the best. But Julian Sayin coming back. You got Ryan Day always there. Then you have Jeremiah Smith, the Heisman favorite at wide receiver on the outside. Not a lot to say there. Ohio State at 2.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Number 1, I think every single year, the team that wins the national championship the previous year should be the number 1 team going into the season. I always believe that. I don't think they are the number 1 overall team. But this is my preseason list. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm going to put it the way that I want to put it. Personally, I think they're the number 6 team on here, but I've got Indiana. Obviously, you got Curt Cignetti. The guy pulled a real-life, college football video game move and took Indiana to an undefeated season and won the Natty in his second year, which is incredible. But any coach that does that deserves the credit. The problem is that team was very old, and you lost a lot of those guys. Most notably, your Heisman-winning QB. So let's see what happens. I've got them at number 1. I don't think they're going to be terrible, but I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year. My prediction that I have, and I was doing my stuff privately, was 10-2, 9-3. I think there's an argument for 9-3 as well. I do think if they're 10-2, they make the playoffs. I do think if they're 9-3, I think they miss.
I like that. Indiana. It's hard to not have Indiana up there because they, like you said,
reigning
national champs. Reigning national champs. Hard to have them, not have them in the conversation. But for my one, I think this is the easy one for me. I have Oregon. I think Oregon has one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, Dante Moore. But like you said, they have Patrick Mahomes Jr. on the bench. If Dante Moore is not doing well or hurt, then you have Dan Lanning as your coach. I know they lost Will Stein to Kentucky, but Dan Lanning is a really good coach. He's going to have them juiced up and ready to go every week. And Oregon just has a really good roster around Dante Moore. And so I can see them coming out with some firepower. And I think this is the year they do it. Not win it all, but they need to have a really good year. They need to beat some of these big teams because I know that Dante Moore has struggled in some of these big games. Other than that, I think they're number 1 in my opinion overall.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I like it, Matt. I really do. I think both of ours are good. Some people definitely are not going to agree, though. We'd love to hear it, but like I said, this is my list. I'm going to have it how I want it. This is all speculative, too.
Oh, yeah,
Week
for sure.
6 is when I actually will be able to say, okay, this is this is that, this is why this team.
We'll have another one come out, and everyone will see it.
We will. We will have one probably weekly, but I'm not really going to take it that seriously until Week 6. If Louisville loses a game, they're dropping out of mine. If Tennessee loses one, they're dropping out. It just is what it is. I'm pretty much here just to troll until we get to Week 6, then I'll actually do something serious. But we'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next time.
Thank you. See ya.